Hi, Steve and Matt from Katoomba Camera House. Today we want to show you something a little bit more advanced, and what we're going to do is we're going to get a speed light and use it off the camera. The idea is to be able to come up with a studio quality portrait with very dramatic lighting without the expense of a full-on studio with backdrops, with extra lighting. We can do it with just a camera and a speed light. The trick is to get the speed light off the camera. And Matt will demonstrate the actual effect of how we're going to do this in a moment. But in the meantime, Matt, you might like to demonstrate a couple of ways that we can actually use the flash off the camera in the first place.
Yeah, well, there's several different ways of doing this. You can trigger it from the built-in flash on the camera. Sometimes some of the Nikon cameras let you do that. So that's
I'm sorry to interrupt, Matt, but that's where Nikon does shine. They do have the advantage over Canon.
Yeah, that's quite true. So the built-in flash sometimes can trigger an external flash. Alternatively, and probably the cheapest way to do it, is by using a flash cable like this one here. So this is where this end sits on the camera and actually communicates to trigger the flash, which sits on this one here. And you can get these in TTL versions as well, so that the actual camera and flash talk to each other and transmit settings between each other. Alternatively, sometimes if you've got a second flash, so two external speedlights, you can leave one on the camera and have that become the master, which then triggers the second flash, which is off the camera. And there's other methods as well. If you invest in some of the different triggers out there, you can get them in infrared and line of sight, or you can get radio ones, which tend to be a bit more reliable and work from further distances and things like that as well. So that's the different methods that you can use to trigger your external flashes.
Great, thanks, Matt. And of course, once we get the flash off the camera, then we have to look at ways of controlling the light coming from the flash. And the idea is to focus the beam of light down, and we use this by using something called light modifiers. And that's really all that is attachments you put on the flash unit to change either the quality or the direction of the light. What we're going to be demonstrating tonight is the Gary Fong snoot. Now, this is a snoot with a grid on, and what this does is just focus the beam of light down for us. What we want the light to illuminate the model without lighting up the background, because we don't want the background in the shot. We want a nice dark background and nice moody lighting. And by confining the beam of light, we can achieve this, and with very dramatic lighting. Thanks, Matt.
So I'm just going to quickly show you how to attach the power snoot onto your speed light. This is sort of a one-size-fits-all situation, so you don't need to get other accessories that are specifically shaped to different size speed lights. That's one of the good things about the Gary Fong setup. All you have to do is undo the Velcro and attach this onto the end of your speed light there. And for the smaller speed lights, it's probably a good idea to use the supplied rubber band that comes along with the snoot. All you do is pop that on beforehand so that the snoot has something to sort of grip onto. I guess also it would probably prevent it from scratching. So once you've got that on, just pop the snoot on the top there and just do up the Velcro nice and tight there. And there you go, it's pretty much straightforward. You've got your flash, the snoot, and the grid on the end there as well. In terms of actually mounting your flash, there's all sorts of different ways. Just for the purpose of this demonstration, we just got a small tripod here, and using the feet that came with the speed light, it actually has a little thread on there as well. So all you have to do is just mount that onto the top of the tripod there. Any tripod would be good. Obviously this one's a small one, and for this type of portraiture, we want the light to be above the model. So we're going to stand this on top of something, but alternatively you could use a really tall tripod or a really short model. Of course, there's all sorts of other stands and things like that that you can get as well, and that's probably worth a whole video altogether. We might cover that later on down the track. Okay, so in terms of setup, you want your Gary Fong power snoot attached to a separate speed light that's off to the side of the subject, so you get that nice side lighting there. You don't really want to light it from the actual camera itself, it's less flattering that way. I'm just using this speed light here purely just to trigger this one. It'll have no effect on the image whatsoever. Now in terms of camera settings, you want the camera to be on manual, and you want to choose a shutter speed maybe about 100th of a second, 125th of a second, and you want a small aperture, maybe f20, f22, something like that. Just experiment because it's going to depend on your ambient light. And basically why we're choosing settings like that is we want to create a situation where the camera is exposing for the flashlight, but not for the ambient light. So you're choosing a fast-ish shutter speed and a small aperture, which is basically going to render the background black or near black, and it's only going to register the light that's coming from the flash off to the side here. Okay, so we'll take a few quick shots. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and again, and maybe just one looking at the light. Lovely.
Thanks very much, Matt, for doing that demo tonight. Big thanks to Stacey too. She was a good sport in posing for us tonight. I hope we've been able to show you how simple it is to be able to come up with dramatic, professional quality lighting without the expense of a full-on studio. Something you can do in your own lounge room, just with your camera, a speed light, and some sort of attachment to actually shape the light. So to review this material and for other hints and tips too, have a look at our website. And thanks again for watching. We hope to see you again soon with some more hints and tips on photography. Have fun.
See you next time.
Bye.